Welcome back to StarFlames TV, the channel for your juicy scoops, celebrity topics, chit-chat, behind-the-scene gossips, and all that. In this video, we're going to talk about Candace Owens speaking out in support of Wendy Williams following the Free Wendy movement. As you guys know, Candace Owens is a conservative commentator, and now she has publicly voiced her support for the former talk show host, Wendy Williams, who has been under a controversial guardianship since 2022. Now, Candace Owens is using her platform to rally her support behind Wendy Williams, calling for Wendy Williams to be broken out of this conservatorship, which she has described, and based on our opinion, is a prison. Let's take a look at this clip together of Candace Owens speaking out in support of Wendy, and then I'll get back with the rest of my commentary.
We got to talk about Wendy Williams. You guys were messaging me asking my opinion on this. Okay. So in case you don't know who Wendy Williams is, she was an extremely popular host of the daytime talk show, which was named after her, the Wendy Williams Show, from 2008 to 2022. That is a very long time. Essentially, her show was like someone's auntie saying way too much at the cookout. You know what I'm saying?
Lucy, stop it. Denial is a river in Egypt. Your husband is gay.
People really loved it. It was gossipy. It was funny. And she was absolutely hilarious. And so that's why it went on for so long. The show became so much bigger than it was anticipated to be. Well, essentially in 2022, she stepped down from hosting due to medical issues stemming from Graves' disease. I mean, that was what we were officially told for the reason that she was leaving. Now, all of a sudden, she is in a conservatorship, and trying to trace how she got into this conservatorship is quite difficult. What I can tell you is that she was getting divorced. She got a divorce, rather, in 2020. Okay. She was married to a guy named Kevin Hunter from 1999 to 2020. And we know that the end of this was definitely, traumatic, I would say. It was a traumatic ending to a relationship. It has been alleged, and I think with a ton of proof that has been presented, that she kind of, at the end of this marriage, went off the wagon, drinking-wise. She was drinking a bunch, and she found out that he was, and again, I'm taking this from online chatter, as well as the documentary my cousin was telling me about, that essentially he had a whole double life, that he was cheating on her. And women, when they're coming out of long relationships, you tend to see this, and men as well, their personalities will go through some sort of an adjustment. And some people will say, oh, you're spiraling. It's just, but she obviously was drinking a lot. Okay. Now, what happened thereafter is quite confusing. She had this financial advisor. Her name was Lori Schiller. And Lori Schiller somehow flagged, it seems, that spending was happening in her account that was atypical to how she spent. And she had been her financial advisor for like 14 years. She got a lot of hate. I'm unsure that hate was deserving, but what we can say is that what happened next was extremely weird. Okay. So it seems like Lori Schiller took that to her bosses at Wells Fargo, because she kept saying that Wells Fargo was not defending her. Lori Schiller, working at Wells Fargo, was saying that she was taking a public lashing and she didn't deserve it. What happens next is that Wells Fargo, which didn't know banks could do this, essentially just said, we're going to freeze all of your bank accounts and petition the court for you to have a temporary financial guardianship. And that happened. Okay. They just stopped her being able to have access to her money. They said that it was to protect Wendy Williams' finances, and that's the reason that they did it. Suddenly she gets somebody else that becomes her guardian. Like Wells Fargo is somehow able to secure a guardian over her. This woman, who just looks like a villain, is now suddenly in control of her life. She doesn't know this woman. She has no relationship with her. She wasn't her financial advisor, but now she is totally in control of Wendy Williams' life. And there was supposed to be this like Lifetime A&E series, that was supposed to come out around this time. And so this woman, Sabrina, shut it down. She said that she wasn't of sound mind, and the docuseries could not come out on A&E and Lifetime. And then A&E and Lifetime countersued that woman and said, actually, she wanted to bury the documentary because it would have critiqued her role as Williams' guardian. So basically, A&E and Lifetime are saying that the issue with this wasn't actually the mental state of Wendy Williams, but actually the guardian in and of itself. Okay. So this is crazy. Just the concept of the bank stepping in and just taking over your entire life, and you have no say so in how you spend. And they're saying, we're doing this because we love you. You're not my mommy. You're not my daddy. Also, this is my money. Just like I have a right to make money, I have a right to burn through it. Even if it's in a traumatic time, I'm making bad decisions. Maybe I'm drinking and I'm off the wagon. Why the hell should a bank be able to step in and say, you can't spend your own money? Like, who are you? You sound like somebody who wants to make sure, because you're earning a lot of money off of my money, that nothing happens to this account. I don't like this. This is not happening because of love. Okay. It's not happening out of love. It is happening because the bank is likely enriching itself, due to interest. That's what I would speculate. She can't even control who she sees. She can't control who she spends. Her family has no say so. They're fighting essentially to end this guardianship, and there's just no power. Like, the state can just somehow do this while telling us that insane asylums would be morally wrong. They can just put someone essentially in an insane asylum. And let me just be clear. Every person that I've seen gone into a conservatorship comes out crazier than when they went in it. Okay. I'm talking about Britney Spears. I'm talking about Amanda Bynes. I don't know what they're doing in the conservatorships, but if Britney Spears is any indication, force drugging you, it's essentially to make you go insane so they can keep controlling your money. And so she appeared on Breakfast Club with her niece Alex, and she spoke about what was going on. And here is what Wendy and her niece Alex had to say about it.
I am not cognitively impaired. You know what I'm saying? No, but I feel like I am in prison. You understand what I'm saying?
She's there in New York, in this place, essentially like what some would call a luxury prison, right? This is her room. That's literally her apartment. But the thing about this apartment, and you know this, not Wendy, because you're there, it's small. She has a bed, a chair, a TV, a bathroom, and she's looking out one window. A building's across the street.
So now Wendy Williams is essentially calling on friends to speak out because she can't do anything. Again, this is the most terrifying thing. I don't even know how this is allowed legally. This should obviously be abolished unless she is physically harming someone. Okay. There is nothing that is wrong with going broke. Okay. She started her life broke. She's allowed to end her life broke. And Wendy Williams was going through a divorce. She was drinking a lot. Homegirl needed a break. Okay. She needed a break. She did go to rehab, by the way, which is what I'm saying. I don't have an issue with someone who is going to rehab and trying to get her life back on track. I have an issue with the bank stepping in and saying your money is now mine. And now I get to appoint an attorney who's going to say that actually you need to be in this forever and no one can speak out on your behalf. But fortunately, someone has, and that person is Harvey Levin. Obviously, we know him from TMZ, a very powerful guy in Hollywood, and he has a lot of friends in Hollywood. And he spoke on the phone with her, with Wendy Williams, for an hour and a half. And he, too, is disturbed by the fact that she's in a conservatorship. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I can tell you that the Wendy Williams I spoke to today is the same Wendy Williams that I knew 10 years ago. There was no difference. She was lucid, she was articulate, she was with it, and she was opinionated. I'm not going to get into the specifics because it was an off-the-record conversation, but she wants me to give my evaluation of what I heard. Charlemagne the God was on the phone call as well. And my impressions were precisely what Charlemagne has already said, that Wendy Williams seemed like she could have done her radio show today. There was no lapse in her judgment. There was no hesitation in what she was saying. And I'm not a doctor, but I am alarmed that Wendy Williams has had her freedom taken away from her. And I don't understand exactly why.
Nobody understands exactly why, and that is the problem. And so this is something that I am drawing attention to because, again, this is terrifying, and this relates to politics when we speak about the overreach of government. It has nothing to do with the bank, and the bank is not doing this because they love her. And so I view this as her being wronged. I view this as her being in prisons, and I want to use my platform to say that Wendy Williams should be freed before they do to her what they did to Britney Spears.
So guys, you know when Candace Owens speaks, people listen, and you know it creates an impact as well as a positive effect. So I'm hoping that all this movement, all these actions actually get Wendy Williams out of that prison that she's in, because this is literally like an abduction. She's been held against her will because of her own money that she made, so she can make her money willingly, freely, but she can't spend it as she wanna. That's crazy. But I want to hear from you guys. What's your take? While you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share, stay safe, and see you all in the comment section. Peace.